Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sight Singing Made Easy. And we're using courtesy of musictheory.net to explain the introduction to music theory. And we're going to use this foundation of music theory to actually start our sight singing journey. So, you can see on the screen that we have the staff notation. This is the foundation upon which you draw your notes in music. So when you see these lines, you know that this is the modern staff. Now, the modern staff comprises of 5 lines and 4 spaces. You can see the 5 lines. You count these lines from under, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the 5 lines and 4 spaces. And you can see the spaces. So that is what you find in a modern staff. Now, every line on the staff represents a white key on the keyboard. So each of this line and every each of this space, when you click on it, you would see that it represents one note on the keyboard. Now we have these two symbols. You will also get to see them when you begin to sight sing. And these symbols are called the treble clef and the bass clef. The modern the treble clef naturally that we will need for sight singing is this one, that the starting point is found at this second line, the treble clef. Okay, so the staff wraps around, shown in red, you can see it in red, is known as G. Any note placed on this line will become G. Any There are other types of clefs, like some sheet of music, but not for singing. You see that this clef will be wrapped around maybe another place, another line, other than this second line here. But then don't get confused. For beginners level, we'll only be looking at this clef, the G clef or the treble clef, because that is what you mainly come across if you're going to be side singing. So if this is G, that means that the note above G will be A. In music, we don't have anything like H. What we have is A. It's a continuous process. So you just run A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then you go to A, and then continue B, C, D, E, F, G, and then go to A, B, C, D, and just like that. You can see it on your screen. And then a ledger line will solve this question mark you can see here. Why? Because now we have reached to the top of the staff notation and we need to add more notes, and we need to sing or play more notes. So what do? We cannot draw another extra 6 line for the staff. If not, we will not be drawing a staff. So that is where this kind of lines called ledger lines, they would solve the a ledger line is a small line that extends the staff when we run out of room. With the ledger line drawn, you can place your A now. So after your G, you draw a ledger line and have A. If you want to continue then you put another ledger line, and then C, and that's how it goes on. These ledger lines are not only placed above the staff, but they are also found below the staff. Now let us look at the bass clef. If you look at the bass clef, it is wrapped around, it is also called F clef. And for starters, we'll be starting it from the fourth line. So you can actually get that bass clef you're looking for. The staff line in between the two dots, this is the dot and the other dot. The line that is in between it is called the F. Now you can now fill the rest of the staff with notes. So if this is F, that means the up one above will be G. And if this is F, that means this one down here will be E. So let's take a look at what it is. So you can look at it F, A. If you go back to that F, E, D, C, and just like that when you go back. Now, finally, let's discuss the grand staff. Normally, the grand staff, you have your theoretically consists of 11 lines. But we'll need to remove that middle line that makes it 11. And you can see that it now looks like two different staffs. This one is 5 lines and 4 spaces, and this one too is 5 lines and 4 spaces. So once you add the treble clef to the top staff and the bass clef to the bottom, you can see the relationship between the both of them, right? So notice how the two clefs are joined by C, and this C now will be called your middle C. People commonly call it middle C, and you can call it middle C because it is the same as the middle staff line that we removed. But we removed it to show you that you can't have 6 lines in any staff. It's just 5 lines. So remember when we explained what ledger lines is all about. So this is a ledger line below. Now the C is commonly called middle C since it corresponds to the middle staff line on the grand staff. So having seen that, you will agree with me that now that we know our staff, our clefs, and our ledger line, let's now take a look at the note duration because this is very important. The note durations. With time inside singing, we're going to explain to you how to actually read each of these durations. But take note that you would always be seeing notes in your piece of music for it to be able to sight sing. Because what notes to tell you is they tell you how long each note will be. These note durations tell you how long each note will be when you're singing it. For example, this first one is called the whole note, and it has the longest note duration in modern music. So when you look for modern music, you would see this note duration. It has the longest note duration in modern music. Then we have the half note. This one has half the duration of a whole note. Ta Your half note to be ta because it is half of the first one. Now the half notes occupy the same amount of time as one note. So you have two half notes, we give you one whole note. It's like mathematics, right? Now the quarter note is a fourth of a whole note. Fourth of a whole note. So four quarter notes will give you the same amount of time as one whole note. Two quarter notes will give you the same amount of time as one half note. So if this is ta this will be ta and then this will be ta 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 ta. Good. Now notes smaller in duration than a quarter note have flags. Each flag halves the value of the note. So we already have this as quarter note, but once you add a flag, it means that it is divided by 2 again. It's half the value of that note. And so this is called an eighth note. It has one flag. Two eighth notes occupy the same amount of time as one quarter note. So if a quarter note is ta, this one will be the eighth note will be T. And if you join the two of them, you will get the value of ta. So you have like TT. Good. And then we have the sixth note. It has two flags. Remember, we talked about it shows half the value of the note. So we already have the note as eighth note. If you now have another flag, that is half of eighth note, and that would give you two 16th notes. That will give you 16th note. And this 16th note has two flags, having the value again. Two 16th notes is the same as duration of an eighth note. So if you have your quarter note as ta, your half note, your 16th note will be tika tika because that is the same thing as ta, tika tika. Then the eighth note will be tt. Okay, you can see how the mass is separated. Possible to have notes with three flags or even four flags, but people rarely use it. But then you just calculate it the same way. So that means this will be 30-second note, and then that means this will be notes. So it's just for to understand. So I'm going to show you a chart that displays the relationship of all the five notes discussed. So we have ta, 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 ti, 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 tika, 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 tika. You see? Again, ta, ah, 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 ta, ah, ta, ah, ta, 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 ti, 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 tika, 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 tika. Are we not amazing? So, thank you all for joining. Next time, next Thursday, again, we'll meet again and we'll work on this. At the end of the day, we want you to become a better sight singer or sight reader. See you in the next class. Bye.